The tune is Mary Ann Blades, and it's from a new recording by fiddler Rodney Miller with his daughter Elvie Miller on piano and accordion. The album is called Spyglass. In the next few minutes we'll hear Rodney talk about the album, and we'll hear samplings of several of the tunes. Rodney Miller.
Spyglass is an album that is entirely waltzes, and I don't think it's such a far out idea to do a waltz CD, because waltzes have been such an important part of the contra dance music scene ever since I've been playing for contras. You know, there's always been a waltz at intermission, always been a waltz, you know, at the end of the dance. And in the travels that I've been doing the last few years, there are actually waltz teachers that are hired at the dance weekends that we play for. You can think of like Gay Pfeiffer in Charlottesville and Barb Roach out in Boulder, Colorado. And they are waltz instructors at these weekends. So like Sunday morning workshop would be an hour and a half of waltzes, and the band often gets asked to play for that. So the concept of waltz after waltz is part of the contra dance music scene. But the idea is one that I had been harboring for quite a while, because I love waltzes. And in New England, the waltz is really our air. In Scotland and Ireland, you have airs that aren't necessarily in 3/4 time, but they're slower pieces that allow sort of a wider range of musical expression. And the melodies can be hauntingly beautiful. And you know, there are so many out there at this point that people have written, and with the traditional tunes, that you know, there's plenty of repertoire to make a waltz CD. So when I asked my daughter Elvie if she would be interested in doing a recording of waltzes, her eyes lit up and she said, "Sure." I was like, "No problem there." And she's just such a good piano and accordion player that I know that she resonates on these slower pieces as well. We did a joint picking of tunes, repertoire, you know, things that I had picked up in my travels with my different bands, and you know, meeting composers on the road, and people giving me sheet music and say, "You might like this waltz here, or you might like this tune here." Of course, Elvie had spent like a whole year in Europe playing accordion, Northern Europe, playing accordion, and focusing in on dance as a community activity, and collecting music, you know, and related to dance music in the British Isles and Sweden and Finland. So she came back with quite a repertoire of material that when she played some of it for me, just when we were jamming, I just thought, wow, these melodies are so beautiful, and you know, it'd be great to record some of this maybe with her. Spyglass is one of two tunes on the CD that I co-wrote with Elvie. And as it just happened, I wrote the A part to a couple of tunes and didn't know where to go with it, and asked her to see what she could do with it, and she actually came up with B parts that were probably a little better than the A parts were. So, and Spyglass is one of those collaboration tunes. And Spyglass is a little interesting tune. I had written the A part, and has a set chord progression, and it's a little mysterious sounding. But then the B part that Elvie came up with was just a chord progression with no melody, and so we decided to treat it that way and just improvise a melody over the chord progression on that. So it felt a little celestial, like we were taking off.
You've been listening to music from the album Spyglass, with Rodney Miller on fiddle and Elvie Miller on piano and accordion. This is Gordon Peary for the Monadnock Folklore Society. Thanks for listening.